Hello, hello. Welcome to Lead Taken. Here at Lead Taken, I talk about all things witchy, craft related, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. And this is my witchy review. Um, sort of a book review. It's really oracle cards, and there's some books that I didn't talk about, but these were just recently purchased. I was out and about today. I was at a different Barnes and Noble, and I said, "Let me go over here," because I was going to get lunch. Had a very interesting day so far of just mishaps. Hi, Dylan. How you doing? Thank you for coming. But yeah, it's been an interesting day. It is so hot here in Arizona. The last time I checked, which was within the last hour, it was 112 degrees. It's hot. How are you? Oh, I'm having a great day. Hot, but having a great day. Happy to be back inside. I wanted to go to this nursery um, nearby. Actually, I wanted to go to two different nurseries, so the one was going to be a bit out of the way. But it's just so hot. It's just too hot. And I mean, they're nurseries. They're like outdoors, so I would have to go around. I was like, I don't think I have the energy for this. I love your hair and top. Thank you. This is actually a whole dress, but thanks. Yeah, it's too hot to wear it down on. So I said one ponytail wasn't doing it, so I did two, and just went about my day. Man, it's hot out there, right? It's so hot today. And I think it's going to just stay like we're in the thick of things right now where it's just going to be hot. I think this is it, guys. Like we're in it's officially July 9th. Like it's the real heat of Arizona. I want to say I'm kind of getting used to it. Like it's gross and I hate it. And, I feel like I'm baking in the sun or more like frying. Um, but it's not enough to deter me. I just try to get everything done and then come back in the house in the cool air. I just need breaks to cool down and then I go back outside. Um, I wanted to go outside earlier today, but it was hot first thing, like the early part of the day. It was so hot. So I said, you know what? I'll just look out the window. I went out and watered my garden, came back inside because that's about as much as I could do just standing. And that was with coverage from the sun. I was watching a TikTok video and it seemed like some of them were being ostentatious and kitschy, and it made me feel sad for us. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's just like way too hot. But let me get into what I am going to review. So, because last time I did my live, I love what her name is, Maya Toll. She had the other books. What is it called? So I got it over to the side. The Wild Wisdom Companion. So this time I got her Herbiary oracle cards, and these are really cute, and I love them, and they're kind of one of my new favorite things. So you get the book that comes with it. Everything is colorful except the inside of the book. It's not color, but that's okay. So let's get into these cards because I think these cards are really nice. Look at this forbidden fruit apple, like the design. Look at that. Look how really cool. Like, isn't that colorful and pretty and just I don't know. I love that so much. I like it. So the stock, like the card stock, this is really thick. That's quality. I like that matters to me sometimes. I don't know if I mentioned it probably like 1,000 times. I'm a bit of a paper snob. So like the card stock, I care about that sort of stuff. Burdock, tap your resources. Oh wait, she has an actual box deck. Yes, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Like this Oracle deck is where it's at. I love it. It appeals to me. I know I'll be using this for personal readings. I'll be using this for leap taken services as well for those readings because the messages are beautiful and I don't know, they're a little. I'll tell you in a minute. I'll show you what I mean. But look at this comfrey. What needs mending? Like the artwork is just awesome. Be yourself, Daisy. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, you're a paper snob too. Good dandelion. That sun looks a little deranged, but I like it. But when I think of dandelions, I kind of think a little, you got to be a little off a little. I don't know, something about dandelions, like to give a personality to it. Flower plant, elderberry. What is that? Cyclicality. Mm, okay. Hawthorne, Heart's Home. I just think these are just like when I was like, okay, I made the best decision. Now I got these off of Amazon. The link is in the description, and I have an affiliate link, so it's a couple bucks, well, pennies. But go ahead and use that link if you're interested. It helps. Every little bit helps, right? Lavender, Tough Love. Oh, I love that. I love this. I keep thinking I have two because it's so thick. And then look, Marshmallow. These are, I mean, look at all the detail. Like you could sit here and kind of just really think about this. That sun does look deranged, right? Yes, it did. And then Mugwort, one of my favorite. I have a lot. I'm actually going to be doing something with that a little later. Some Mugwort. I want to burn it. I want to burn it and do some meditative work. Mullen, integration. Look at that with the spider. Yeah. They have one for the animals, but I wasn't really into that. Um, I'm, they had rodents, well, and they were a little too realistic looking. I don't like that. I don't like. I don't want to see. I don't want to connect with those animals. They could exist. I get the symbolic meaning. I felt like I was like, you know what, this is getting a little too much for me. I remember. Look at the oats. Just be. You know, I think of oats. Yeah, that message. Like they just are oats. Just be. When I was little, there was a TV show when I was a little kid called The Littles. And it's a cartoon. This is the days of Saturday morning cartoons. They used to, the cartoon, it was basically like, they look like people, but they were like basically mice, but that look like people. And they had this whole community built in the walls, and it looked so fun. And I remember saying to my mom, um, oh, I wish we had the littles here. And she looked at me and said, oh, honey, we do. I'm trying to trap them. I'm like, oh yeah, we did. We did. Look at that plantain. It's just so much to look at, so much to like break through, like look at, and you can get all different types of like feels and maybe messages. Looking at some of these, like, oh my God, quaking aspen. Look at that. Look at the detail. I mean, first you would think trees, we see holding hands. We are one. Like that's a heck of a message. Raspberry, create space. It's just, and red clover, center and ground. This is the one when I opened it up. Oh my God, I looked at this because I did go through them first because I couldn't contain myself. I've had these for 2 days. I have not, as you can see, they're in order. I haven't, I didn't do anything with them yet. I will be doing something now that I showed you. Rishi. Ooh, define gravity. These are so freaking nice. Like, I am really impressed. Crack open. Remembrance, rosemary. We know about that. Look at that. I'm like, how do you illustrate remembrance? This does it for me for somehow. I don't know, it does. And then sage. Ooh, clear the way, which is different from apparently making room, the other message. But yeah, self. And then there's just like they throw these cards in ripple outward, self heal. It's not really a herb or anything. I did notice that when I just kind of went through, I was like, so everything's not an herb. St. John's wort, light in the darkness, which if you think about it, oh, the artwork is beautiful. Isn't it, hi, Nika? Yes, it is beautiful. When I think about St. John's wort, I do think about that because people, a lot of times they say for depression, right? You take St. John's wort, a light in the darkness, maybe to help you get out of that darkness. That sage artwork was really nice. And look at Starflower, Finding Grace. Oh, I love those colors. Sweet Violet, Inner Sanctum. Mm. I think this, well, I know it's great for me because I'm getting more and more and more into just like plant life in general, herbs, whatever you want to call it. And this is time. Distill yourself. This is just fun to kind of look at and see if this is really something you can get out of. I would just stare at this card and meditate, try to get out of the maze. Spirit into matter, trillium. It's interesting looking with the crystals or the gems. And then Tulsi, you are sacred. I think it's just the details. What do you prefer, tarot oracle? Oh, I use both. I like them both. I like to mix them. Sometimes I think you can get deeper meanings by mixing them. Valerian, which I'll be playing with the sleeping cat. Oh, release rigidity instead of just peace. I like that. Release being rigid. Vervain, let magic in. I like this card so much. And then white willow, waves of water. Like, I am so impressed with these cards. I can't express, like, I love these. Yarrow, this last one, pocket of protection. So, by the way, this is what the back of the cards look like. They have like animals and stuff, like you see squirrels, and some of it's a little repetitive imagery, but yeah, snakes, a squirrel, and some flowers. But I like it. I like it a lot. So these are the cards. 36. You get this nice box, which I don't know. I'm a sucker for packaging. Like it's heavy. It's kind of I like that. The book, which the front, the cover is kind of almost no, not as thick. It's so just to put it in perspective, this cover page is not as thick as the card. A lot of times I get Oracle and Tarot cards, and they're about as thick as this. Not these. Mm-mm. So yeah, let me. I wanted to kind of give you an idea of what I meant when I said the meanings are very interesting. So we're gonna go with because I know I really the center and ground the red clover. That was the one that had the heart on it, and this said. Let me show you the what I'm talking about. Well, they're in alphabetical order, so I should be able to find this relatively easy. There we go. With one hand, it's hard. There we go. Ah, look at that. So this is the center and ground red clover. So the book, it says here, this commonly cultivated forage crop feeds horses, cows, sheep, goats, and just about anything else humans keep at pasture. I like that they give them pronouns. She plants her feet, or she plants your feet on the ground, 2 or 4, it doesn't matter to her, while encouraging you to run a few miles or dive into the art project you've been avoiding. Red Clover wants you to get moving in body and in spirit. She loves grounded action and will happily bolster your courage from the Latin word core, which means heart, when you're acting from a strong center so you can step out and move forward. Bold but not rash. Red clover gets your blood up so you can show up fully. Like, I wasn't expecting the meanings to come across that way, but I like it. I like it. I like the pronouns they put in here for these things. I really do. And I think every herb is a she. I'm looking to see if I see anything different, but I think they are. Yeah, like the nettle one, it says here at the end, if nettle is pricking you, pause and pay greater attention. I watched Disney's Tarzan for the first time in a couple of years and I almost cried 5 times within the first 10 minutes. And I thought to myself, so I'm choosing to be an emotional wreck today. It's funny you should say that because I was working on a video and I'm not sure. I did it and I was like, I did it earlier this morning actually because it was just on my mind about emotions and why I think it's important to express those emotions. I was somebody who, where the people I grew up around would say things like, oh my God, you're so emotional. You always cry. And on some level, I want to say I internalized it. I did, but I didn't, not enough where I could turn off the emotions and not cry at like a Disney movie or something like that, or a book I was reading. Like I could be reading a book and tears are just streaming down my eyes, out of my eyes, my face, because it's like, so it got me. But I think that's a superpower. I think that the more in touch we are with our emotions and willing to be vulnerable and release them, such as crying, um, it's one more step to being in our truth, and it makes us better practitioners. And we have a deeper spiritual practice usually because of that. There's so many pieces when you really think about it, to spirituality, to being a magical practitioner, living a magical lifestyle. And I think one of those things is confidence. And confidence doesn't, yeah, it's the fake it till you make it. It's the surface stuff. But I think the other part of that is like, how do you get to become confident? How do you get there? Um, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people want to skip the steps. Me included, I used to be like that. Yeah, I was trying to suppress and still cry. Trust me, I I still did. I'm just saying, I used to get people. It bothered people around me that I cried so much. It actually bothered them. And this is not from just being an adult. This is even when I was a kid. Um, People would make fun of you for crying as a kid, for me anyway, and then as a teenager, and then as an adult. When I had my first baby, when I had my daughter, and it was time for her, like we came home, and you got to go like right back to a doctor or hospital or something. Got to, I don't know, give them shots or something. I don't know. The first time they did that, I was not really aware of all that was happening on that. I didn't know. I was like really willfully, I don't know, willfully ignorant, because I could have found out and I didn't. All I know is that they poked her with a needle. When I say I cried, she's the infant screaming. I am now boo-hoo crying, and I'm just there like, why did you? I can't help it. And the nurse is like, "Mom, it's okay. Mom, just go over there," because I was trying to grab my baby and keep them from giving her that shot. It didn't get better on kid number two either, but just to give you an idea of how easily I cry. Uh, I would have cried if I was eating breakfast. This, my family teased me for being too sensitive when I was young. Yeah, I used to hear that all the time. Oh, you're too sensitive. The world's going to eat you alive. Um, People are going to take advantage of that. You have to hide that about yourself, all that sort of stuff. And I'm like, in the end, you know what? I'll just say this, for those who call themselves tough, now on this part of my life, midlife almost, I'm seeing a lot of the people, especially in my generation, and people I know, and I've known. It's interesting to see people who were so stoic then and so strong, as they say. Um, I look at them, and to me, illness. To me, when you don't let those emotions out, when you're constantly suppressing your true self, it takes its toll on the physical. And it's the way, it's not so much that they look bad or something like that, but um, like the effects of stress, you can see it. Also, they have vices. A lot of them have vices. Some of them not healthy, but they have vices. Food, people overeat, wanting to get high and or drunk. Um, Sex, where they're cheating, and even, just getting up and stuff. They have all these vices. I think, if not that I'm a therapist, but I think if you would really just if people would be willing to do just some self-analysis, find out why, why didn't you want to cry? Usually because somebody told you not to cry. But yeah, I was always told, and I grew up in a projects in a place in New Jersey, Camden, New Jersey, not the best place for safety. So I can understand why I was being told not to be so sensitive. Because people they thought they were looking out for me, but then sometimes they were just mean. I think being emotional is healthy, but being too emotional to where your emotions run you like, yeah, isn't healthy. Exactly. But let's talk about what's emotion. Like, it's, to me, it's very interesting, because this used to be a bit of an argument, a disagreement I had with somebody, where they would talk about, oh, you're too emotional. They would use that term, describe it. Oh, they're too emotional. They're too emotional. And I'm like, Okay, so is emotion only when you're expressing like sad disappointment? What about anger? And then, for some reason people are they're different about that emotion. You're allowed to be well, some people are, but typically men are allowed to be angry if you haven't noticed that in our society, but that emotion is okay to show. Anika, you were born in New Jersey too? Okay, I'm South Jersey. But yeah, that's where I was born and raised and lived there until 2005. Early 2005 is when I left New Jersey for good. That does not seem that long ago, but I realize that's a while. That's a long time. Whew. But I have some other things to show y'all. So I was at Barnes and Noble and I saw this, and I got this because I was curious myself. Um, it just came out this year, A Handbook of Spells, Charms, and Rituals, Divine in Origin, Goddess Magic by Warwick Kane. So I picked this up because I don't know if you see that goddess statue that I have here. I got that at Ross last weekend on sale, or was it on sale? I don't know. It was more. I don't know. I don't shop at Ross very often. I'll be honest with you, but I got that. I only have it in a frame. This is not its permanent spot, but I just wanted to kind of show y'all. And it's not heavy, heavy, but it's got a little weight to it, and that's gonna be my goddess offering. Yeah, women who are angry are considered crazy. Exactly. Um, we won't even get into the racism stereotypes as far as being a black woman angry. That's like the worst thing ever. Like express you being passionate, you're an angry black woman. And here's the thing, so what if I am? Is that a bad thing? Well, nobody wants an angry black woman. Well, I don't want y'all either. How about that? Anyway, that's me. Because I guess I'm more angry, which is like what? Uh, anyway, but so the book, it says, awaken your inner goddess with this illustrated handbook that provides everything you need to communicate with the goddesses and incorporate their powers into your magical practice. Featuring a directory of over 60 deities, you will become familiar with goddesses both well known and less common. Through all with their though all with their unique wisdom and powers to impart. Call on Yamaye, the Yoruban mother goddess, or present offerings to Rosamerta, the Celtic goddess of prosperity. So I already thumbed through. I just got this today, so I don't like have experience reading this just yet. But I was thumbing through it while I had my lunch earlier, and I was looking at it. First off, I went to goddesses I knew. So this is for Hecate, or some people say Hecate. So I looked at that. So that's the illustration they're talking about. So it's just these 2 pages they give about a goddess. It's usually just 2 pages. But the offerings, I was curious about that. Make your gifts and offerings at night. Cheese, bread, and eggs, as well as food for her dogs, are traditional for the supper of Hecate and are left at entrances or crossroads in her honor when seeking her favor. So that's that one. That book sounds good. I'll have to check it out. I wish there would be a God one as well. I don't know if there is. I just saw this. uh, then they have, let me see, Iris Greek here, and this one over here is Kuan Yin, a Chinese goddess. So wait, Iris only got one page. Okay. So her powers, comfortable in the realms of gods as well as mortals. Iris can help keep the peace and make sure everyone stays on the same page. Her role as servant to others breathe the power to be flexible in all situations to ensure a positive outcome. So that's a little bit how they explain the gods or goddesses, excuse me. But here's the thing: there's a little bit more to this book than just a list is a resource of here's all these gods and then or god I keep saying gods goddesses, but they give some spells. That's what I wanted to get to. So, ooh, finding a match. So these are the spells. I love the paper and I like, the cute pastel colors and all that. There is no shortage of goddess allies to offer opinions and advice on attracting the perfect mate. If that's what's on your mind, pour some wine or tea or your other favorite beverage, one for you and one for your goddess BFF. I don't know about that language, and settle in for a chat. You can meditate on who may be the one, journal with your goddess on taking the first step, sit outside, listen to the sounds of the universe for cues that say timing is right, whatever appeals to you. When ready, say quietly or aloud. So here's what you're supposed to say. Bewitch me with your grateful charms and cast a spell that does no harm. For love is what my heart desires and has in sight a fond admirer. Do help me make my message clear. I wish to bring our lips so near that searing heat does melt our fears and happily will live for years. Oh, isn't that cute? So, yeah, there's that. Oh, I think that is so, I don't know, I thought that was cute. So that's a cute little spell for you to say, more like, I guess, what they say, like a charm. Um, so you say those words aloud. So there's not like, I don't see any, oh, I lied, yeah, that one didn't, but there's other spells. I was looking for spells that like you had to have something. This love and beauty spell. Oh no, the pages are stuck together. You see this? Like somebody, the glue is stuck. But this one, Love and Beauty, Burning Love Ritual, this calls for a candle, a rose quartz crystal or garnets for love, and 15 drops of rose essential oil mixed with a carrier oil such as almond, jojoba, or olive, rose petals, or a rose. So there, that one, that's the only one. I'm looking through the book. I don't see anything else that requires you to like have something. Most of it is like sit quiet and say this, which is good. Uh, yeah, I like that. Simplicity. Ooh, they gave a sample harvest menu. Sample harvest menu. Interesting. But yeah, so that's it. So you got the spells, and then what's in the front? Those are the goddesses. Let me get to the table of contents so I can see. All right, so they break out the goddesses of love and magic, love and beauty, marriage, fertility, motherhood, goddesses of relationships, truth, forgiveness, home, hearth, and healing, good fortune and prosperity, goddesses of wisdom and knowledge, goddesses of strength and protection, goddesses of creativity and joy, and then goddess magic spells and rituals. So that's good. So they break it out. So like depending on, I guess, if you're looking for certain like abundant prosperity goddesses and stuff like that. You go to this section, you already probably know some of the goddesses they're going to talk about. A Germanic is Bertha. Bertha is celebrated from winter solstice through New Year. So Fortuna, that's a Roman, I've heard of her. And then there's Lakshmi, Hindu goddess. Pachamama, Andean. I gotta look further into that one. And then Rose Murtha is the Celtic goddess. So they're all associated with abundance and prosperity and all that sort of stuff. Yesterday I did a live showing my new crystals and my Walmart school stationery that I got, and it was kind of a lot. I have an addiction. Yes, good for you, by the way. But I don't know, I'm really into this book. Anyway, so I was thumbing through it, and I was like, I like this. So Barnes and Noble, and then the other book, Decode Your Dreams. I don't know if anybody else has this book. It's new to me. I've not noticed. I didn't see this before, so this is all new to me. So this is not new to you. Sorry, it's brand new information to me. I didn't know this is out here. So it breaks it up into sections. The table of contents. First of all, isn't that pretty? It's very colorful. The second one, oh, that's like the way I pronounce it. Thank you. So, if you have any interesting dreams, I also went through this. So, like winning the lottery. So this is how it's set up. So, let's say you had a dream you won lottery. So it's the section Unlock the Meaning. So dreaming of winning the lottery suggests that you have been suddenly and unexpectedly presented with a valuable opportunity in your waking life. Although it may seem that it has required little effort on your part, the reality is that your talents and expertise are rapidly becoming a winning combination. Um, it is pretty, yeah. Awaken your potential. Next section here. Start celebrating your creative gifts and expertise, although they might seem quite minor at the moment. The more you display them, the more that other people will be attracted to your value. Seize the moment and make your own luck. How can you use your creativity and problem solving skills to make the most of an unexpected opportunity? Then they have something down here in this section here. A popular ambition for lottery winners and would be lottery winners is to buy a bigger house. This dream presents an opportunity for upgrading your life experience through self development. So they already gave, to me, that was a lot of kind of information to kind of dig in. Now, most people would want to believe that it means you're going to win the lottery. But if that's true, then if you dream that someone died, means that that person's going to die. When a lot of times those dreams, I know that too, that especially about like death and things like that, don't. Well, I rarely ever take my dreams at face value. There's always like symbolically something else. Am I the only one that doesn't seem to feel like their dreams have meaning the majority of the time? Really? You don't feel like they have, well, you know what? I don't know. Maybe you're a little too, I don't know, a little too unbalanced with the mundane because I feel like there's probably something there. But if you think it's not, then I don't know. But if you're having vivid dreams, maybe not all of it, but there could be one thing out of that dream that um, could be a message or some sort of a sign or a symbol or just something for you to further think about, especially if it's like really mundane dream. Like let's say it's just this one activity you do. Let's say you dream you're making something you always make, like something to eat or something to drink. And that's the dream. That's it. Just that activity. And I would question, is it the monotony of life? Like maybe the lack of bells and whistles and other things in the dream, that would make me question, am I missing something? Um, do I need to add a little bit more magic and whimsy in my life or something? I don't know. That might not be the case, by the way. I'm just saying. But anyway, yeah, speaking of, they have a whole section for death dreams. Um, oh, they even explain a little bit about that. So, dreaming of death can be unsettling, but dreams about dying are rarely about an actual death. And I just read this, but I'm somebody who have dreamed about people dying, so I've had to learn this before. When you create a dream, you get that? When you create a dream that involves a death, you are becoming more aware of a fundamental transformation in your waking life. This transformation often involves moving on from a situation that you no longer find fulfilling. I know that to be true. Be respectfully, but excuse me, by respectfully laying the past to rest, you give yourself the opportunity to step into a better future rather than feeling that you always have to live in the past. Dreams of death allow you to honor past achievements so you can move forward. I've had magical dreams and such before, but it's rare. Like I've gotten a talisman from a dream. Oh, okay. I think the major meanings of my dream is anxiety about school. Oh gosh. Man, oh, I know about that. I'm one of those people I'll dream. Oh my God, I will dream like that. I remember this is so long. I had graduated high school. There are certain dreams that stand out. I graduated high school. It's the summer before college starts, right? And initially, I thought I would always be going away to college. I did go away, but not that first year. First year, I went to community college. I was actually accepted to go away to school, but my mom didn't. She didn't let me. That's a whole other story. I turned out fine, but she didn't let me. I got accepted into Rutgers in Newark, and she said no. Which also goes back to that sensitivity topic we were talking about, being called too sensitive, because yeah, yeah, that's how it went that deep, where she thought I was too sensitive to go away because they would eat me alive. But anyway, moving on. um, that summer, I remember staying at my cousin's house, and so like the two twin beds were next to each other, and we're teenagers, so I'm like 18, and where she is, 18. Like I was used to getting up early because I had just gotten a job working at like a newsstand in a courthouse. And hold on, the courthouse for the Camden City, Camden, Jersey, at least I don't know if it's still called that, but at the time it was called the Hall of Justice. Because I had no connection to any comic book world or anything like that, The first time I said that to somebody outside of New Jersey or where I lived, and I said, yeah, so I worked at the Hall of Justice. They said, I'm sorry, wait, what? Anyways, they thought it was amusing. I didn't get it. It took me a while to figure out why that was a thing. But anyway, I worked at the Hall of Justice in the basement where they had a little newsstand. They sold like snacks and stuff like that. And I had to be there early in the morning. Anyway, the person I worked for was blind and his wife was deaf. It was an interesting combination. And the wife always, she was like really rough, like the way she would handle things and like move me out the way, like because she didn't use her voice. It was a crazy thing, crazy situation. And here I am working at this newsstand. But I had a lot of dread behind it because he had a CNI dog, and the dog was like right under the space under the register. And I never was that comfortable with animals. I didn't grow up around animals, so that made me uncomfortable. Being up so early. This is the first like real responsible job I did. Um, I had a lot of anxiety. So I remember I stayed at my cousin's house and she told me I woke up in the middle of the night and was screaming something like, I'll put the stock up. I'll put the patient, whatever it was, like donuts or so. She's like, it made her think of Time to Make the Donuts. It's like an old thing from a Dunkin' Donuts commercial. But anyway, she was like, you just started screaming about that in the middle of the night. And then you just went back to sleep. So I was having nightmares about this job in my sleep. That's how stressed I was. Um, I would realize I would be stressed like that for a good amount of my adult life, sadly. But yeah, that's how much it stood out to me. When I get stressed or anxiety, I dream. Oh, oh my God, your cousin died in your dream 2 nights ago. Oh no. Lord's Brewing Company. Hi, interesting gamer girl. What are you playing? Wait, who? Who's the gamer girl? Did I miss a point in the conversation? I'm sorry. Um, 40% is at school, 20% is trying to get to school, 20% on the bus, getting to school or getting home from school, 20. This is just a rough estimate. Oh wow. You said brilliant story, thank you. Did the dog lick my feet? Oh my God. You're tapping into real fears now. I don't like that. You are tapping into something. No, he smelled though. He did smell. Oh, that's a troll. Oh, sorry. I didn't know. I thought you were really trying to have a conversation. You know, you could break from your trollness for like 2 seconds and like just talk. You can go back to it because I know you got to do what you got to do. Um, you never had an annoying dog lick your feet in flip flops? Ooh. Oh, you saw the gamer chair. No, it's not a troll. I was gonna say I don't think you're being too like normal. Okay, fun fact, I tried to be a gamer girl. I did try. The re I can't do it. I get bored after a while. World of Warcraft was he said, I am not a troll. That's how I hear you saying in my head. I am not a troll. I don't think you're a troll. I don't. But anyway, yes, I was, especially when I got this chair. But yeah, I tried to be a gamer girl. I tried to play world, and I shouldn't say I tried because I'm still willing to play World of Warcraft even now. And there's a couple other games that I'm open to still playing, but I feel like I have got so many things going on. I need to be very careful if I add that in right now. But yes, I would like to be more. She gets trolls sometimes. Yes, I do get trolls. But they say you're not really doing it until you start getting trolls. So that's like a good thing to me. I get a little excited when I see that. But anyway, yeah, so the books are Decode Your Dreams. I kind of like it. I think they're simple meanings. It's not, anything too crazy. They're not, it's not that woo woo. It's more psychological, it feels like, which is good because that's not necessarily not, I don't know, psychology is kind of woo woo to me, but they say it's not. um, Potential dreams. Back at school, huh? Unprepared for an exam, pursued by a monster. Who hasn't had the dreams where you were pursued by a monster? So when you dream of being chased by a monster, there's a situation in your waking life in which you become aware of a monster opportunity to fulfill your potential. I don't know about this one. Your doubts about your ability to succeed with it, however, have grown of all proportion, out of all proportion, and are in danger of becoming self-destructive. Now, I don't know about that. I remember years ago, this is a while ago, because my kids were much younger and my kids are grown now. They were like kids. One of them was a kid. Anyway, but I had a dream that and True Blood was happening. Eric from True Blood, who was my favorite, loved that Viking. um, like a lot. But anyway, Eric was in a dream as Eric, the character in True Blood, Alexander Skarsgård, if you don't know, I love him too. But I, in my dream, I'm asleep in my room, and he comes up the stairs. He walks in. Of course, there's no one there. I'm in a house. I appear to be alone, and he's coming as vampire Eric Northman to come drain me of my blood. And I'm like so scared that he's going to do this. And he gets close, and then I wake up as like the fangs coming out, and he's coming in. And that was a full on nightmare because there was a couple different things happening. One, I like Eric Northman. I was into the vampire thing. We'll just say that I was very into that. So that didn't scare me per se, but it did in my dream, and it was a full on nightmare. And this monster coming to get me actually was more about what was happening in my life. I was so fearful of just financially, it was like really tight. That's when I got into couponing, not for fun, for, so we could have food. And like just finding ways to like save money. The kids, like, they stretched their clothes out way too far. Like, they grew out of their clothes and they were still wearing them. I homeschooled them, so gratefully no one saw, me walking around with the pants kind of up high. Like, this went on for like, I want to say about 2 years. It's like really struggling financially. Um, it was bad. It was really bad. But anyway, like, I was worried about the car getting repossessed in the middle of the night. Like, that was the last thought I had. Someone's coming. They're going to come get my car. They're going to come get my car. And it was just weighing so heavy on me all the time because we were so late on everything. And I found that when I had dreams like that, like somebody's coming to get me, it was usually about my real anxieties and fears about what was happening in my life, and I was worried that they are coming to get me, the bill collectors, the repo man. Yeah, that meaning did sound off right. One of my favorite dreams was when I met Lucifer in hell and had to play against other people to save our souls in a poker game, and I won. Man, I wonder if I could play poker in my dream. I don't really know how to play any card games except solitaire on a computer. That is not what I know how to do. I don't know how to play. I haven't. Hmm, when I was younger, I know I played Uno with my family. I know I played Uno. I get the concept. I haven't played in so long, I forgot. I know Go Fish. Like, I remember those games. No, I don't really. I remember having played them. I don't remember anything about them. But the big one in my community is spades. Gun to my head. You might as well just shoot me. I don't know how to play spades. Black people are real funny about teaching people spades. You got to get a special person to teach you. Now, granted, this is amongst your own family, your mother, older siblings, aunts, grandmother. They ain't and when they playing, they not going. If you want to learn, watch and learn. Like, learn to take in the information, retain from what you see, because these people are not showing you. They don't want to wait to show you, and it gets very serious. I don't even play poker, so I'm glad that I won. That's so funny. It's like, if I'm in a dream playing a card game, I'm like, who am I? Oh my God, I would think about that all the time if I was playing a card game in my dream. Um, but this is interesting. So maybe some of them are off. And I know, just because I understand my experiences. For instance, I had dreams of flooding, of being in my car, and I was in a driver's seat. It matters the position you're in. Would find that out. In a driver's seat at the time. Who was next to me? Oh, yeah, this, because I'm trying to remember where in my life I was in this dream. No, my husband was in the dream. And this is a long time ago, and the car is just filling up with water. We're on a street, and there was like a huge flood, and the water is just coming in. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I can't swim. Like I can't get out the car. The water is all, it's like in a movie, comical, how it's coming up around you. And I would realize that that's just like an overwhelming situation for me. So anything where there's like a lot of water is usually tied to just feeling emotions, overwhelmed. And it just manifests that way in dreams for me. Um, I can get some very vivid dreams and they stand out to me. Like you can see how I can just think of this right off the top of my head about these dreams. That's how profound they were. These dreams helped me to do something about why I was having these dreams. So I could find the psychological aspect of it, the magical part of it as well. Hell, in that dream was red and yellow and gold casino, and the people who lost got sucked down through the floor. Oh, yeah, you were fighting for your life, for your soul. Yeah, you needed to win. um, and then, back to this book again. I don't know, but I didn't tell you, they said each goddess is described covering her cultural origins, domains of expertise, and more. So that's good to know too. Like Hathor, goddess Hathor, which is in a Celeste, she's an Egyptian goddess. For me, she is the first named goddess. I'll say that because I don't know about beforehand, but for me, kind of intentional um, during my spiritual practice, because for the longest time I didn't have any specific goddess work. I was aware, but I didn't feel like it wasn't like I didn't set up an altar. I didn't do any petitions. I didn't actually work with them. It was more like, oh, because I'm a witch and I'm into the occult and I'm into magic and I'm into all these things. I just like learning about these goddesses, but I didn't actually do anything with them. Um, so yeah, when I remember I remember things by places. We were living in Tennessee, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. We were living there just outside of Nashville. Oh, I did enjoy that. Don't like the winter because it's dark and dreary, and I experienced seasonal depression there. Did not love that, but I say that because whether I was willing to accept it or not, I feel like this goddess was giving me so many signs and symbols. We lived in a rural area. There was a lot of cattle farms. And I mean, that was just the backdrop. Like, that was like when I would leave out of my it was like suburban rural. So, our, single family development, cookie cutter houses, all that sort of stuff. When we would leave out there and I would pull out, go, a couple of traffic stops, but then you're like on a two-lane road, one this way, one that way, and there's nothing but farms, farms. And I remember just having the experience of just like sometimes if I was the passenger or the driver, just looking over and I was like, this feels like I'm aware of when magic comes in, when it's something spiritual happening. And when the feelings I would get from those cows. And then I started trying to understand. I remember one day I was just looking and I was like, is there something to do with like cows, something magically speaking or spiritually speaking? And I realized Hathor was related to that. And then once that happened, more signs and symbols and things like that. She was trying to, I think, communicate with me and help me out through that situation. Interesting. That was interesting. And also, um, wow, that just unlocked a memory for me just thinking about that time because I had never, I don't remember having seasonal depression because I'd been living in sunny places for so many years and I'd left New Jersey and it had been years and then we're in this place and it was like, and there was a lot of other stuff going on. Y'all know how it is. It's like a domino effect, but that was like the last one and I was just like thrown in that situation. But yeah, I'm glad. I'll enjoy reading this section a little bit more. They talk about the offerings you can give her. Um, Let me see. In the tradition of the five gifts of Hathor, write down five things you're grateful for. So the number five, that used to be, man, that's so interesting because that number is, I told you this, I felt like things were happening and I was just, I don't know, because I had so many other dark things going on. I don't think I was fully open, but she was trying to help me. I think that this goddess was really, truly trying to help me. I think this is the first named goddess that truly came to me and tried to help me even though I was like oblivious or woefully ignorant. We'll just say that. Uh, as the game went on, I found Lucifer more attractive. Well, that's what. First of all, I just assume if there was a Lucifer, they would be attractive. A part of me wonders if that was real and people lost their souls, but maybe not, right? Oh, your soul's being damned forever because of a card game, and you don't even know how to play card games. But you know how, listen, if that's the case, you won in your dreams, so that's all that matters. And this is the other thing that I went over just to wrap up the illustrated Herbiary oracle cards, which are now my new favorite things ever. And I'm not just saying that, like, please know this will be used in readings. When I do my readings, I use back to that question from earlier. I use both oracle cards and tarot cards, and I use different decks of tarot cards, different or I mean oracle cards are going to be different, but because the tarot cards that I use, I feel that, and this is just the way I work with them. I think that even though they're technically following what the Rider Waite definitions, people create their own tarot cards to have sort of their own special meanings. And that's why I like collecting so many different ones because I get a different energy, a different meaning, a different feel from these cards, even though technically they're all supposed to mean similar things. It's supposed to be the same thing. So when I do a reading, I interpret that way because depending on your situation, I also kind of let spirit take over depending on the person, the energy I'm getting. Um, and I might even change it because I might have been thinking one thing and then I'm looking at you and I'm like, you know what? Hold on. And I'll grab a different deck um, depending on the energy I'm getting off of you. But yeah, I might have several and we'll just go through it and just kind of walk through it because the illustrations, they bring different emotions, and that's why I believe in using emotions in my work, um, because that will give me different interpretations of things like that to share with my clients, and also even for myself. I've been in the habit more of using a lot more oracle cards for myself. I have a deck I use only for me, and I use it only specifically as it pertains to my witchcraft, not like in my life. Like, what about my career? And even if I think those worlds kind of overlap, I still use in my mind that's the witchcraft deck. Like, if I want to ask a question about whether or not I should do this spell, or if I'm looking for help creating something, I use that a specific tarot deck for that purpose. With my mental health and mental state, it's kind of hard for me to connect the dots of meanings of tarot. So I'm learning in a different way. Okay, different meanings, got you. And that's fine. That's good. That's why, you know what, someone else might look at your situation, especially if you have several decks, and say, why do you have so many if you're learning? Because you can learn different ones at the same time and they have different meanings. You know, this particular deck might elicit a whole set of emotions and meanings, and just the imagery makes you feel something different. And I think that's okay. I also believe that it's okay to look at the books that come with the cards. I know there is a lot of controversy around that. For instance, I mean, I think if I only look at these cards and just use the word that they have at the top, that's fine. But I feel like I'm missing out on the intention of the author of reading a little bit more of the detail. And I don't see anything wrong with that, especially if you don't have it memorized. I mean, I just got the cards today. So if I wanted to use them, and let's say in a couple weeks is like 3 weeks from now, yeah, I might have an idea, but I don't know every single card that comes up, memorized. So yeah, I might look at the book. Is that so bad to get to get the deeper meanings? It doesn't take away from the meanings. It doesn't take away from how it applies to you. And I definitely don't think it takes away from my skill as the reader, because even reading the information, everything that's said might not apply to your situation. That's where the intuition comes in, and you have to intuit which part of this makes sense, in this reading. Um, anyway, that's just my stuff. I get a little nerdy about that kind of stuff because I like it. But yeah, so I did have some questions, some other things I was going to talk about. The CERN, CERN was started up again. What is it called? The CERN machine or something? I don't know. It was started up again. and people talked about living in a different dimension, and that prior to that we were going to be in a different dimension, everything would be different and all that. And I have my thoughts, and when I'm done, I'm either going to make my deck with those meanings or an actual published. Oh, you should. That I Yeah, I like that idea too. I like that a lot actually. um, but and then which kind of another I heard someone say, probably TikTok. Are we living in hell? Is this hell? If you believe in hell, I don't believe in hell, to put it. I don't, because to me, I don't know why this, I'm uncomfortable. Anyway, I don't believe in hell or heaven. I don't believe, not in the ways explained in Christianity. It doesn't compute. Um, CERN, CERN. Yeah, that's that thing where they're trying to separate like particles in an atom or something, to understand, like people think it has something to do with black holes. It's real sciencey. You could Google it though. But anyway, the CERN collider or something, I think it's called, and it's something that's like supposed to like separate an atom or something, if I understand that correctly. But people think it has something to do with like getting into another dimension, opening up a portal or something like that. Um, so July 5th, it was turned back on. Um, I don't know. I feel kind of like it's the same. We're in the same dimension. I don't think we escaped. It'd be cool. But then again, what if I'm jumping out of the frying pan into boiling water? Who's to say? So I don't know if we necessarily want to go into another dimension. Oh, that machine. Yeah, yeah. So that's been, going around, and conspiracy theory about that and what it means and the effects of it. But obviously, we're still here, and I still have my memories intact mostly. And I don't know. I don't think much has changed between July 5th and beforehand and now. So, and also, yeah, are we living in a hell? If we are, I don't know. Maybe we are. Maybe this is the hell. Um, and if so, what is the point of all those people who are out here trying to stop abortions and talking about the Bible and all that if we're already in hell? If you believe we're in hell now and this is earth is hell and it's all sinful and just wrong, well then you're on the bad side. You went to the bad place. You're here with us. You're not escaping. And death is just the end of fleshly desires, and I don't know. Your spirit just burns after that. So welcome. We're all in it together. I'm just so sweet right now. Right? I'm just so happy. Yeah, no, we don't know if it would be worse exactly. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't believe these things. I think that sometimes this is the advantage to not being the type of witch who believes that the outside of body experiences are more spiritual and more validating or more valid than the things that you experience within. A lot of people believe that if they're contacted by a goddess, a spirit, or some ancestors, whatever, if they're having these experiences where their soul is leaving to be absent of the flesh, which is definitely, coming from that Christian ideology, to be absent of the flesh is to be what, present in presence with the Lord or something like that. And I think people, even in paganism, or technically they probably took it from paganism, chicken or the egg. I think that they truly believe it. And the problem with that is you're robbing yourself of an experience that is still spiritual, but that is happening within your body. We talked about having dreams and things like that. This is happening within me, my spirit, all here, grounded. Those dreams and all that we have, those are happening to you in your body. Honestly, for some people, like old people, like the elders, they would even talk about certain pains or certain twitches as it meant something spiritual. So it didn't have nothing to do with outside your body. Your physical manifestations would signal something. And that was their tell. From old school, like when your left hand itches, that means you're coming into some money. First of all, that's facts, and that does happen to me, and I do get money when that occurs. Oh, and don't, if you scratch it, you taking away some of the money. So just like hold your hand like this. Don't scratch though. That's an old school thing, old superstition. That I believe I taught my kids that robbing of a beautiful experience. Yes, I mean just the miracle of birth, guys. Like just that alone, from both perspective, male and female, just that process to make a person is magic. you know that whole thing is, and someone could argue, no, it's science. Science is magic. Oh, that's how I see it. But which next? My next topic, witches and nature. So I think about this a lot because I'm in my climate. It's hot, right? Super hot, 112-degree heat. So I don't go outside and sit outside as much right now because it's too hot. But I want to experience nature. So I've been bringing nature inside as much as I can. I got my, oh, here, this one. I got this plant that I'm hoping survives and I can keep it going. My mom is getting involved with this. My mom is really good at plants. So she's helping me with this one, my aloe plant. So I moved it to this location. We'll see where it goes from this. But anyway, having nature around me has been super helpful with connecting to nature. I love the idea of driving up. If you're in the Phoenix area, you know what I'm talking about. Like you can go to certain mountains. I'm hiking, not so much, but I could drive up there. What is that, South Mountain? Um, and just kind of have a moment to myself. But it's too hot. It's just too hot, and gas is high. So I haven't been willing to do that. So this is kind of my way of working with nature and immersing myself. So I don't know. I guess I thought of that because I feel like we are, I don't want to be doom and gloom, but I feel it in my spirit that we're at a point right now where things are going to start to get real different soon, in our lifetimes. Like we're going to see it where things are going to get not great. Like the things we're used to won't be here anymore. And I feel like we have to get used to being one with nature again and studying it and learning it. And those who don't, they'll suffer the most, and they'll be a danger to those of us, the rest of us who are learning, because plant magic is not just about, yeah, they're the food, but planting your own herbs and your fruits and vegetables and all that sort of stuff. But also medicine. That's where we learn medicine. And people get desperate in situations of hunger and disease and all that sort of stuff. And I don't want to sound I don't want to go too dark, but I feel it, and I know I'm not alone. Um, it's not a conspiracy thing to me. It's just kind of look around, like which or not. Just pay attention to what's happening globally. The food shortage thing. I don't know. It's getting a little scary. It's been scary. I think during the quarantine with COVID, like the toilet paper thing, the formula shortage, the baby formula shortage, like it's the gas prices. We assume, I think some people assume we're going to get a breaking point and then it'll reset. Where I don't think we're near the breaking point yet. I think the greed is at an all-time high, and but this has happened in history before. This in other countries. We're a young country, very young compared to the rest of the world. um I don't know. I just get one with nature. I'm gonna just leave it there. You need to remember that left hand money thing. Always remember that. That's a big deal. These TikTok IG story audio that basically goes like, look at nature and turns me on. Yeah. I I'm big on this now more than ever because I think my life might depend on it. I think all of our lives depend on it. I am learning and I'm studying, and it's trial and error, like with this aloe plant right now. But yo, that's medicine. That's medicine. That aloe plant is medicine. So it's important that I understand this. Those herbs that I have up there, that's medicine. Those are practical uses and witchcraft uses, which is all the same to me. Um, it's all magic. So yeah, those are important. So I'm studying and I'm learning and I'm applying as best as I can and trying to take my time and then reapply so I don't forget the information that I learned. I'm going to be planning some stuff today, and I'll see how it does here. When I heard of the baby formula shortage, I was like, how does that happen? Yeah, well, and the thing is, it's only happening here in this country because I know I follow somebody who lives in Mexico, and she showed on the shelves all the baby formula on the shelf. And she was like, yeah, this is not. And then I saw other people in other countries saying the same thing. This is not a worldwide issue, it's a US problem, which isn't that horrible? Oh my gosh, which capitalism. Can we really manifest wealth? Can witches, can we, or any of us, but we're going to speak in witches and practitioners, can we really manifest wealth? Um, can we? Can we? Um, I think there's other factors. This is my way of explaining it to myself, and this is why I explain to other people. It is difficult to go against the machine of capitalism. The reason is because that machine is fueled by the will of billions of people over lifetimes. It's been, the machine just got stronger, louder, and more threatening over time, and the way I see it, in order for us individually to get, I guess I want to say, get on the receiving end of the machine, or, in a way that we're receiving the benefits of capitalism, wealth, um, in order to get that, I feel like you need an end, beyond magic. There has to be some sort of shift that occurs. And for some of us, it happens. There are some people who will have that experience. I think of people like Rihanna, right? Rihanna, they've been talking about this over the last week or two, how she's a self made billionaire, the youngest in our country. So that's kind of a big deal. And, to get to that point, there had to be a shift, right? I think that some of us get that shift, but not all of us, not even most of us. Not many of us will get the shift in order to get in, um, and that's just going to be our reality. And that's a hard thing to come to terms with. It's not limiting your how you manifest. It's not accepting defeat. It's not speaking lack over your life. Um, I'm not saying it's not possible, but we understand, just like with the lottery, it's a numbers game. It's only so many of us can possibly win to get that combination of numbers. Only so many. It's a small amount that will actually get it. So manifesting wealth works the same way. If we're talking about money, wealth, you be wealthy in love, wealthy and abundant and all that sort of stuff, but money, wealth. Um, I do believe that there has to be a shift, an in, if you will. Um, there's so much energy keeping the machine, capitalism, money, and all that sort of stuff, the banks, all of that. There's so much industry, so much energy, people's will, though their forefathers who, want to preserve that as well. It's being passed down. So you, the individual, doing your magic in your home and casting spells for wealth, it's possible if that shift occurs in your favor. Um, it might be a very difficult task. So what do I say instead? When I think of manifesting wealth, I think of it in terms of whatever it means for me. I don't think in terms of being as a billionaire like Rihanna. I don't think of million. I don't think like that. Instead, I just think wealth. Wealth for me is not having to worry, not having to really think about it. I have, this is the money I have over here to travel, vacations, share, give to other people, and, do things I want to do. This is for investments over here. This is to take care of living expenses, and, everything else. So to not think, to just be in the space of I just had my play money, so to speak, and not have to think about all those other things would be wealthy to me. It's just the money's just there. I don't have to think about it. It's just there. That would be wealthy. What if that only turned out to be 150 grand a year? But those things happen. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's all relative. So, but that is technically, if I'm telling you that's what, and I'm telling the universe that's wealth, that's what it means to me. And those experiences to me signal wealth. That could happen on 150 a year, right? I mean, there could be some other circumstances. Boom, your house gets paid off, so that's one less debt. Excuse me, your car is paid off. You're driving an old car. You didn't say you want a new car. It's just more of that feeling of being wealthy. A lot of people it's a feeling of wealthiness, which means stability. Again, it's a feeling, it's an experience. I think where it goes left when you're trying to find that shift based on a number, a figure, millions of dollars, because in your mind, that's what it means. That's where you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot, in my opinion. I think that it's not as likely. But if you kind of think just in terms of what does wealth feel like, what do you think wealth is? What is that experience? And you kind of stay in that energy and just allow yourself to immerse yourself into that. I think that's when you have a better chance of getting an in that machine. That the shift, you broaden your chances to kind of get sucked in and get a little bit more of that machine, like all those other rich people. But it might just be $150,000, but you could experience wealth. This morning, one of the people I follow on IG shared a short video about the woman that loved Rihanna, but she doesn't like her being a billionaire, and I just don't get it. Yeah, people are weirdly hateful. I'm not interested in the topics. I don't know the reasons behind the thinking. I don't know. In the same way, Beyonce came, which kind of fits the conversation. Beyonce's song that she just came out with, um, "You Won't Break My," what is it? "You Won't Break My Soul." Which, if you listen to the lyrics, I love that song. But someone on TikTok really, and I saw her TikTok about it, and her replies to people responding to her were when she's telling people to quit her job. The song, she's like, "Quit your job" or something. I don't remember all the words. The song just came out, but anyway, she's saying something about quit your job, and I'm just thinking, what is wrong? Okay, she's saying that the argument was, well, she's never worked a day in her life like us, and rich people getting on here telling us to do things. I'm like, first of all, we know, and Beyonce knows she's rich. Okay, let's stop there. Would you prefer for her to make music throwing her wealth around in our face and just keep talking about how rich I am the whole song? Like, no, she made this song because she's paying attention to the world and what's going on, and people are feeling broken, and she's aware of a capitalist society that we're in, where it can feel like you are being broken, and like there's a noose on you, like you can't breathe. And she's making feel good dance music, house music, please. um I don't see how people find, like, I could say you might have issues with maybe lyrics, some of the lyrics, but you get the idea of the song. But no. But then again, there are people who just hate people for no reason. Like, whenever I see people, oh, I just don't like Beyonce. And you're jealous. That's what it is. You can't tell me anything different. I'm looking at you, and I'm like, yeah, you're jealous. No, I just don't think she's overrated. As soon as you say it's overrated, I'm like, no. Anybody, any celebrity, as soon as someone says that, oh, she's overrated. Because I hear people say that about Meg Thee Stallion. I love Meg Thee Stallion. I like the way she talks. I like what she says. I don't see anything wrong with being expressive about sexuality and low key, even violence. Like, I don't see the problem. I think the problem is, and if you really listen to her lyrics, she's not threatening to anyone, versus other rap lyrics that I hear where it sounds very threatening, specifically to women. It's not just objectifying it sounds threatening listening to their lyrics, but that's another conversation. I need to look up the lyrics. I can't quite understand what she's singing. Yeah, look it up. When I first played it, I had on my phone when it came out. I played it that morning, and like early morning. I'm up at the crack of dawn, literally, and I the lyrics showed up. So I was as like first time I heard it, I saw the lyrics, and I was like, oh, that it's a good song. I don't know what people's issue is. I think she even spoke about it. I think on Instagram or something. She posted something along the lines of like why she wanted to make that song. And I can't wait to hear the rest of the album because I like house music. House music is feel good music. Let me tell you, the thing about house, for me and most people I know, when you hear house music, it's like, I don't know, it's an equalizer. Like, you get people, young, older people get on the dance floor and you can feel it in your spirit. And it's just, the movement is different. It's not TikTok dances and all that sort of stuff. To me, I don't know, it's a smoothness to it, um, very rhythmic. And, if you practice magic and you're into spirituality, you understand those rhythms mean something. That frequency that it's on, to me, it could be a spiritual experience. I don't know. I like my house music. Anyway, but yeah, back to the last topic, wealth and manifesting. I truly believe the best way to manifest wealth is to get comfortable with your definition, your ideas on wealth. What does it seem like to you? What do you think you as a wealthy person would be like? And some people go for the first day, and that's okay if your first thought is, oh, designer car, designer, clothes, designer everything. Fancy cars, very expensive cars, and whatever that is. Get specific. It's okay. It's okay. Who's going to stop you? Whatever that is, like see it in your mind's eye. What type of car? That's okay. Maybe it's a big house, a mansion. That's wealth. Traveling. Um, I caution you, if part of that, if you're going down this road and you're seeing these things, right? And then the next few thoughts come in, slip in and say, and feeling and taking pictures and posting it and knowing that people are haters and laughing and um if that's kind of the like at the haters, so to speak, oh, they said I wouldn't make it, I'm like, your thoughts go there, pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back. Because you are going to manifest something a little different. What could happen in that situation, and I've actually seen this happen. You might come into some money. You might come into some money. Maybe not enough to buy all the things you initially envisioned, but money. But you know what will come true? Remember those haters and all that you were envisioning, and the people hating on you and you were laughing at them, or and not to listen, you can laugh at your haters. I'm okay with that. I would too. But no, I'm just thinking, haters. If your thoughts go to people who are opposing you, be mindful. Be very mindful of that, because you realize you could just manifest a lifestyle that brings haters, and you're experiencing what you think is wealth. Um, I learned that when I was younger. Be careful with that. So, what's your idea of wealth? What are what is that? Strive for that, manifest that, because there are people who are wealthy at different levels. So yeah, it's hard when you're sitting up here and you don't have anything really. If you're poor and you live in, I've been in that situation. Living in somebody else's house. That's how, but you don't even have your own spot. If they get mad at you, you might be in your car, like that kind of, not having really anything situation, not having a job. Um, Wealthy could mean anything you want at that point, right? Wealthy could be just having your own spot. And you can change your definition over time, because we change, life changes, things change around us. Before, once upon a time, for me, wealthy would have been living in a certain area with my kids, them going to good schools, that picture. But now, I don't have grandkids. Yes, I don't even think about kids. I don't think about children at all. I think about the adults. I think of, if I was to manifest wealth, like, oh, being able to travel. And I think in my mind, like drinks poolside or somewhere in Greece and having good food. There's always food and drink and wealth for me. Like, I don't know, lobster and, I don't know, Greece, I always think of squid. But like just sitting out and living somewhere in the Mediterranean, I don't know, that my mind goes someplace else. And if you guys hear a noise in the background, I'm sorry. I think they're my neighbors doing something with his car. Sorry. I'm about to wrap up anyway. But yeah, that's how my mind goes. Um, when I think of, well, food and drink is going to be a part of it, for sure. Yeah. So anyway, thank y'all for coming to the live. Thanks for, and Dylan, of course, I really appreciate you as always. But here are the things I reviewed. Take a look if you're catching this on a replay. Feel free to let me know if you have any of these things in your thoughts. Also, any of the things I just talked about. Do you think we jumped in a different portal or a portal was open? Has it just not been shown yet to me? Maybe I haven't come across it. Maybe some of you have had an experience. I'd like to know so I can get prepared because I'm already feeling these feelings of doom. Is that part of it? I don't know. But before this guy revs up his bike anymore, I'm going to end this. Thanks so much for watching. You two have a great rest of your day, great weekend. Like, subscribe, share, please, and hit the join button if you're interested in joining leaptaken.com. I mean, Leap Taken, excuse me, and go to leaptaken.com if you're interested in any of my service. All right, bye. Appreciate you too. Bye.